Hello, everybody. We are live. Let's zoom in a little bit to see where we're at. Oh, yes, we're showing that screen, which is not the screen we want. We want that screen so we can go over like this. Welcome, one and all. Yay to a new video. A hang. Let's get this set up so that it's the right size to see everything just right. We don't need to see everything else, right? And zoom this over there, zoom this up to here, right? About like that. You can see some keys. I am playing the release version 1.0.1 of WaveRazer. I have probably one of the very first installed copies of this on the planet. So welcome. Oh, we're gonna have some fun today. It's Easter weekend. So if you celebrate, happy Easter. If you don't, it's all good. We love life. Life is good. Oh, I can move this up just a little bit like that. We all celebrate something somehow, I think, because we're just happy to be alive, right? Let's say hi, everybody. Over here. I got to do some link sharing. So welcome. Welcome, welcome. We have some fun things on the agenda today. Let's see here. That's all cleared up. And welcome. Pause that. Go to chat. Hi, guys. I monitor chat in two places, just so you know, because I'm using the live stream software, which allows me to stream both my webcam and my desktop and have all the audio running. And so I stream to the live stream website, livestream.com/pluginguru. And Livestream just got things going so that they can also be streaming to YouTube. So I now have live streaming happening to my YouTube channel. So I have people watching there at the same time. So I kind of have to go back and forth between the two. I also want to do this. I want to go, here's to the link. And I need to put this onto Facebook. Just tell everybody that we're hanging out. Live stream is happening. I have 10 customer questions to answer today. 2 plugins to show that are new, you haven't seen before. I have a new library to tease you with. Join me. Paste. Copy. It's so funny. It still shows the very original thumbnail graphics. Look at this. I can't show you because it's Facebook and I don't want to give away anybody's privacy. You don't do that kind of stuff when you're doing live streams. It's not polite. But let's see. Let's go over here. Say something to the YouTube, to the Facebook. Oh, there it goes. It looks correct on... They got it right there. Yay. All right. Wow. Just so you know, I have a sale going on at my site. It's Easter eggs, right? So I thought I would do something kind of Easterish. So if you go to my website, and there's my dog barking. God bless her soul. She barks at the mailman. She barks at anything she thinks she hears outside. She has hound in her, so it comes out just crazy. I should have her come up here and say hi to everybody. We'll do that in a minute. But anyway, 15 libraries are available at, I think 30% off I did. Or I think maybe, no, what did I say? 40% off. 40, that's crazy. Why did I? No, 40% off. But you have to find them. You have to hunt. It's like Easter. You have to go to each of these pages and you have to search around and load up each one of the libraries. It's like looking under the grass and behind the swing set when you were a kid to find the deals. Because I don't tell you here what the price is. You have to go to the pages. So go there, do some Easter egg hunting, find some libraries. 15 of them. There's like 30 some libraries available, but 15 of them are 40% off through the weekend for Easter. So please watch if you so desire. This is the new GUI. Somebody's commenting on how they like the GUI for the synth. This is WaveRazer. This just, actually it's not even available yet. If you went to buy this, I don't think they've put it up and given you you can buy it, but I don't think it has a link yet to the library. That will be coming later today. They're working that all out right now as we speak. But they got it into my hands for this live stream because they're friends of mine. They're awesome, awesome people. There's two people. There's Rob Rampley, who's the software engineer, genius DSP guy. And then there's Taiho Yamada, who's the programming. He's worked on other synthesizers with Alesis. I've worked with him with Alesis many, many years ago on drum kits for the 20-bit DM Pro. I don't know if you remember, there used to be a drum machine that while everybody else was 16-bit, it came out at 20-bit, and it sounded, the bit resolution made a difference. It actually sounded really good. So people are saying they got libraries today. Thank you. Hands together, head bowed. Thank you. Very much appreciated. You keep me doing this as a business. So thank you. So I have two things to show you today, software-wise. I have this new library, WaveRazer, which is really cool. I have something else that is just really amazing. Let's do this. I'll show it to you this way. Let's call up a multi of OMG drums, volume 1. Let's call up, yeah, we can do it with just a loop. How's a loop? We'll do a loop. So let's say maybe, here, let's do the old day. Not that one. Let's find something that's got more. I'm gonna call up the loop. Actually, yeah, we'll do it this way, but I might kill the bass. Check this out. This. Let's go. Never heard delay like this. It's got a physical modeled DSP. You've got 4 different objects as part of the delay line. That's just the delay lines. Crazy stuff. So we'll get deeper into that later on as well. So really cool what's happening. There's some really new cool things coming out. I have a new library to tease you with. You want to hear a second of the new library? I can't help but tease you a little bit now. It's got a working title name, and I need your help. I need a name for this. I've had a lot of people ask for cinematic. They want cinematic from me, and they want something that's kind of cool and different and stuff like that. So I've been working on a library. There's a whole, inside of Super Macho drums, there's 3,000 drum sounds. There's a ton of percussion. There's bongos that I played with blast sticks. There's big booms, all sorts of things. And I just took all those and I put those in a folder, and then I started playing around to see what I could come up with. And it's turned into something really pretty amazing. So let's call up Cannibal Pursuit to give you a taste of what's coming. 156 beats per minute. Mod wheel. Yeah. So we'll play this more. It's insane. It's so cool. It is. I'm supposed to be doing OMG drums too. I know. But I started on this tangent, and Now I have other people, Airwaves involved. I'm going to be getting other people involved. ExoSun's going to be involved in making some things for this. And it's insane. And it's really fun. And it's 160 beats per minute. But what's really cool is when you slow these down to like 95 beats per minute, you have Dead Can Dance. So just because it's cinematic 160, these are not loops. That's what's so freaking so cool about all this, is it's real-time synthesis with samples, with all the parameters in Omnisphere. And so you can slow it down to 90 beats per minute and it sounds just incredible. So that's coming hopefully maybe the end of the month. It might be May. I want that to, it's gonna be like 300 patches, tons of multis. I got a long ways to go. So we'll look and explore all that stuff. I also have, today, we have customer questions. And I have 10 customer questions from just this week. It's been a crazy week. I can see this becoming kind of a regular thing. Here's the questions. So we're going to be getting to these today. All sorts of good questions to ask and stuff like that. So, WaveRazer is coming out today. It's not publicly released yet, but it's not here yet. Cinematic Drum Magic. I like that. I've been thinking some of the name Percussa, but Percussa Cinematic Drum Magic or something like that. That's cool. Dan Meyer, thank you. Much appreciated. See, that's why I wanted to get you guys involved in this, because it's community voicing effort, right? Just made it. Hey, Kid Allen's over in the live stream on the livestream.com chat. Welcome, dude. So he's got 3 libraries. I think one of his libraries is on sale today. Maybe not, because we had a sale with him last week, so maybe not. I can't even remember what Easter eggs I made. So again, you have to go to the site, dig around. There's 15 libraries that are 40% off. All right, let's start this up. So WaveRazer is a synth we previewed last week. This is now version 1.0.1, and it will be released today if all goes well for the guys. And I just want to give you a quick breakdown of what works. Be aware, you're getting in on ground level floor 1 of what will eventually be this pretty amazing building. The way I think of it is you're buying into a Kickstarter program, but normally when you buy it, like I bought a Pebble watch 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I paid $100, and then you wait for months and months. It was like 8 months later, I finally got it. Here, you can spend $75 for this plugin. This is what you get. And there's a whole lot more coming in the future. One of the next few revisions, right now you cannot edit envelopes, which we just, by the way, I also did a video that just went live last night that people are loving on envelopes and LFOs. So if you want to get deep into understanding synthesis, you need to understand where LFOs come from. They're oscillators, as well as envelopes and the old school versus new school. So we cover all that stuff in the new video. There's no envelope control in this interface. This is kind of like a performance interface. And we'll go over the things I know. There's a lot I don't know about this. It's so new and different in synthesis and everything that... So let's start here. As you can see from the wave display, it's pretty radical. I think I can sync this down a little bit. It's literally generating multiple waveforms in real time. This is if you click the little blue triangles right here for each of the oscillators, there's only one oscillator on. So this shows you each of the segments, and you can click this button to see each segment and then see what its phase is set to. You can change that. Pitch. Yeah. I broke it. Wave, I can see what the waveform shape is and play with it. There's a scope over here which does radical wave manipulation. You have all sorts of controls here. I think I have to turn this on. Okay, so this is new synthesis. It's subtractive waveform based, but the waveform's been divided into multiple segments. So each of these clicks on this grid when I'm selecting an oscillator will let me see the waveform for that segment of a wave. And to be able to change that in real time and here's your filter cutoff over here. So it's very unique sounding. There's a lot of room for manipulation and all sorts of new exploration, because currently the interface, I have the developer version, and I tried to dig into making patches for it, but I'm working on other libraries, I'm doing other things, and I don't have time. It's a very cryptic tab-based list of parameters interface. It's not a graphic interface at this moment. So Taiho, God bless his soul, has dived into this and spent a good deal of time working with the parameters, the way that they're laid out, which is very unintuitive, to say the least, to make what we have here sound-wise. So there's like 20 side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 21 patches in the factory voicing. So there's room for lots of growth, of course. And then there's templates, which will give you a preset showing off the different wave. Like there's a pulse. And then a pulse on steroids by just moving one little axis. And there's all these different EX log 5. That's the shape. So one of the recent soon-to-be released updates will give it envelopes. There's a future update they're working on to give it a full graphic user interface so that you can hit something and be able to see the waves and all of the parameters and the envelopes and the effects and all that stuff. That is an update that will make WaveRazer more expensive. But if you buy it now, you get that update for free, is the way they're doing it. So if you want to get in on ground floor zero of a cool new synthesizer, the place to go is mok.com, M-O-K.com. Go right here. They have forums, so if you have questions, please find their forums and talk to them. And it'll be available, so it's not available quite yet. There's the Mok forums link right here, so you can go to the forums, talk to them, see what's going on. It's really exciting. I'm really happy to see something new in a different kind of direction where waveform at a more granular level is being approached. But I can't wait for an interface that's more user-friendly. So there's a lot of room for growth. This is kind of an experiment getting in on the ground floor of a Kickstarter, but you get to download something right now to start playing with. So that interests you? And if you're a lover of waveforms, then it should. So we can keep going through some of the patches. Oh, Z-Links. Oh, somebody did a sneak peek of the developer parameters. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to share that because I signed an NDA. They might have gotten permission to do that, but I don't want to. So it's crazy to start with a waveform like this. I mean, you make kind of a funny face when you're playing with this. But the filters are nice. There's many types of filters inside the instrument to play with. You have an effect knob here to no delay or lots of delay, or just bypass it. There's an arpeggiator, which you can turn on, and you have all these different... These are timing events, 1, 4, 8, here's 16th notes. And what's cool with this arpeggiator is once you turn it on, it's separate from the patches. Which is cool, because usually you turn on the arpeggiator and you change the patch and the arpeggiator goes away. But the arpeggiator is its own separate little unit. It's there running. So I thought that was kind of a cool idea. I'm curious if there's a way to override that so that you can design a custom arpeggiator preset to be in your patch. I'm sure there is some way to do that. These guys have thought up everything. They've got their own developing platform for this synth engine. They have other cool synth engines they're working on and thinking about for the future. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this is what Tesla's electrical experiments sounded like. Yeah, very much so. And again, they are also someone on the live stream page is saying that they will take ideas and suggestions and requests from users big time. Feedback to these guys will result in things being done because it's two guys. It's not a big native instruments that you send an email to and you never hear from. These guys will write you back. They'll take the ideas and if it's a good idea, they'll implement it right away, right? So it's cool. It doesn't have like a signature sound to me in some respects yet because there's so many parameters and ways to control these sounds. I mean, this manipulation it's so radical and so extreme what it's doing to a poor waveform that I don't know if I would say that it's a signature sound yet, but it is something that it's just, there's, again, this is maybe even the basement, but it's fun. So WaveRazer 1.0, here it is. Is there any questions before we move on? MIDI automation, I believe, works now. If you just said automate and if I was to go over here to Logic and turn this off and turn on my automation and start by just... Go back over here and hit play. No, it didn't automate it. What if there's we'll have to talk to them about that. Well, that was nice. Yeah, see, it works. Again, 1.0 release. So there's things that I'm sure they have to fix as they go along with stuff. So WaveRazer. Really cool. I don't know what else to say about it. It's new and you're on ground floor. So that's pretty exciting. So now let's take a look at the other plugin that I wanted to show you guys about that's new. And I bought this because I don't even want to wait for them to send me a free copy or something. If I like something, I'm going to buy it just like you guys do. So let's go to OMG Volume 1. And let's just call up something like the creeping kit where I can hit a button and... Ooh, we went the groove. Creeping. Let's mute the basses. Okay, here we go. This is object delay. Turn it on. You have a drum. This is just the delay line. I can have the dryer, and they did this really cool. The balance between 0 and 100, the drum drive sound doesn't go away, but it brings in the delay. Then once you hit 100, the delay doesn't change in volume, but the drive signal does. Really creative. So you can have just this, so you can go through the parameters. There's an LFO that you could set it to be controlling something like frequency. Let's say frequency. Polarity. Type, you could say random. Crazy stuff. So that concept of a physically modeled object inside of the delay line is something I've never seen before. And Richard Devine did some crazy bonus presets. Let's just go to the echo so you can hear just the default. Really cool. So it puts stuff in your delays. Listen to that. That's a cool, definable signature sound. Bring down the LFO. So fun. That's beam, here's drum head. Plate. Or a string. Cool, just so cool. Ping pong, so it's left and right. Low cut. Or high cut. Just really wonderful. Really rhythmic loops. So right there is a delay like you've never, the Applied, if you guys don't know the Applied Acoustics guys, they do the physical models, and I've showed them in the oscillator lesson that I did, showing what they could do with the physical models of guitars, of strums. They have a percussion. This is Applied Acoustic, AAS.com. Here, let me give you their link. This is like a, I think it's retails $149 and it's $99 right now. Yes. So it is definitely something. Applied-acoustics.com is where you want to go. Instead of $139, it's $99. And it's beyond traditions, and that's very true. It's beyond your, they have all sorts of audio examples of the kick track enhancers. There's all sorts of ways to use this in creative ways. So be aware. the world of like just reverb and delays and even those basic effects are still, there's room for new things to be brought about. And this is definitely qualifying, in my opinion, as something new. And there are other instruments, as Colin is saying, they do great products. They have other products that are equally really well thought out. I've worked with physical models with Korg, and so I know the power of DSP and physical modeling, and I know what's required to do this. And the way that they have it done and controlled and stuff is really impressive. There's even a filter, which we didn't even play with when I was just going through stuff, but it's got a high pass, a low pass, different pulse settings for the strength. We've talked about filters in our past lesson, remember? We've got 4 lessons now online. If you guys go to the YouTube channel, there's 4 different lessons on synthesis, and 5 is coming up soon. So that is an exciting development in delay land. So I want to make you guys aware of that. Hey, Tim Dale is here. Hi, Tim. One of Tim's libraries for Shale is for sure on this Easter egg sale that's going on at my site. I will tell you, OmniX Rhythm BPM is on sale. 40% off. Other things are on sale as well. You have to search through the site to find what all is on sale, okay? Let's see. Not many comments coming on the YouTube page. You guys are all just happy and I guess, right? Cool. So let's start customer questions. Oh, I wanted to show you something. I got something cool this week, and I'm having a really nice time with this. Let's see. This is, I've wanted this for a long time, and I've been hesitant to grab one, but I bought a drone, and so check this out. This is just some footage, just some fun flying around Portland with my drone at 300 feet. That's me right there, little black dot in the middle of the picture. And some pictures of Portland on a nice evening. I actually met with the Meetup Drone Club, and so we talked about drones and the FFA regulations. There's rules to how to use these, and I have to take a test because I want to use these to make cool music and promote my libraries and all sorts of things. So I have to do this test. This is me up here in the corner now, looking up, going, wow, that thing's so tiny up there in the air. So it's fun to have something. This is it. Little Mavic. And it's amazing. It shows video footage wirelessly, even 1.5 miles away from your phone while you're controlling it. It can't crash. It's got little camera sensors on the front so it doesn't run into trees. It doesn't run into things. I've owned other drone type things in the past, and they break and crash and do all sorts of bad things really quickly. So it's really kind of fun to have something that is more fail-safe. And so that's gonna be one of my little, because I gotta get out of my house sometimes, right? So I need to do that. So I'm gonna be getting footage at waterfalls, and there's wildflowers going crazy right now and all that kind of stuff. So let's start the questions up. I have some really great questions this week. Thank you guys for writing to me and asking questions. I don't mind. I've written and answered these guys back by typing. But let's talk about them and see them in real life examples. So these pertain to library type questions. So it is kind of promotion, and some people don't like that. If you don't like that, then email me a question that's not promotion. We'll add it to the list, right? Let's see, where was I at? I just saw something. I want to make that go like that. If I'm on live stream, that's good. Any more effects on this plugin? No, it's just delay, but it's delay through an object with a filter and an LFO to control Unfortunately, only one parameter. That's one place where these guys, if this had the ability to have like 4 different modulation sources, it would be even more insane. One is not enough because you have all these different parameters. Remember, my thing is, what city is that? That's Portland, Oregon. I live in Portland, Oregon, in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. And how about wind? It will offset for wind. If there's wind coming, it has all sorts of balancing between the 4 engines that it does intelligently. It's really pretty cool. Mega Macho drones. Yeah. Through reverb. Lovely. So the first question is, which format do you recommend me to buy your drum libraries for Mega Macho and OMG in Break Tweaker or Omnisphere? And he has both softwares. So the answer to this is really more, how are you going to use drums? Because the 2 plugins treat drums very differently. First of all, you're not supposed to have drums inside of Omnisphere. So the fact that they exist is kind of a fun bonus that I was able to get that to happen. But let's do it this way. So here's Break Tweaker. Break Tweaker is based on patterns, and we designed multiple patterns inside of this. So when you go to one of these grooves and you play it, this is the first note. It's on C. You can see my notes over here, sort of. So over here, right? Oh, wait, that's where my picture is. So it looks like that. Just so you can see the notes. So here's C, C sharp. I made some rules, and then for OMG, I hired 3 other programmers to work with me, and the Mega Macho library is based on the Mega Macho samples that I made for the Mega Macho drums and the Super Macho drums. So these are based on samples I made. For OMG, I hired these guys, and then I paid them to create both the samples and the grooves. But I gave them specific rules for the grooves so that everybody would do stuff the same. This is how the voicing should have been done in the first place, but they didn't do it that way. So that the first one is the full groove with pitch, bass, everything. C sharp is just a groove with no bass. The tom's in tune with the note, but you can change that. Alternate groove. And then starting with D sharp, you get fills. Bigger fill. Oh, I'm completely taxing at my computer. Break Tweaker is a huge DSP hog. Okay, and then you have no snare, no kick, no snare, and then just a hit. So that way you can actually make grooves, patterns, but it's only drums. So OMG drums and Mega Macho drums for Break Tweaker is all about patterns and variations on the notes. At the very bottom of the range, you get the 6 samples that equal these 6 different lanes of sounds, right? If I want to do something with that sound, I just click, let's make the original ones go away, and let's have it be for... And then you select this, and the unique things in Break Tweaker is I can say, I want this to divide it into 60 divisions. And then I want the tension to be where it starts fast and goes slow. Let's have it do it longer over time, the whole thing. Okay, that ability does not exist. To do that, and anything else, software-wise, would take you hours and hours and days and days. And then the fact that you can go to the slope and choose all sorts of different variations on even it sounds like different chords. So that seems weird, right? But if you made it really soft, and then you go to the engine and you take it up in pitch. It's amazingly powerful. I wish they would update it to have it be more friendly with DSP, all that kind of stuff. But it is a groove monster for making grooves, then bounce it down in your track, make your own loops so that way you could like mix and match them and not have this run so you can do other plugins because it will eat up most of your computer to use it. Omnisphere is different in that I took those 6 sounds and made 6 different patches for each of those sounds. And that would be the kit. So if we go to, what was that? That's in part 2. I haven't gotten to those yet. Let me show you real quickly in Break Tweaker one of the sounds from part 1. So if we go here and we go up the list to, let's say, dubstep, let's say Convict. So here's Convict. So I have my notes to play the patterns. So I can program like crazy. And these are really fun to work with. If you want it, you could hit this fill and go, no, I want my own fill. I want to have it go like this and have it be like a really cool tension thing. I just made my own fill. So you can modify these really easy for your song, for your production. I give you the sounds and we give you the starting grooves. Omnisphere, if we go to Convict, it's a multi. Let's just go dubstep, decays, Convict. Here's the kit. So this is okay. And then I tried to recreate the best I could the loop so that when you play a note, it's now using the arpeggiator of each part to play roughly that same thing. Now the advantage and the difference here is that it's on a keyboard now and it's just one groove, but I can play different notes, right? So that with the loops is unique. The mod wheel allows me to break down, do all sorts of things I can't do in Break Tweaker without using effects and automation and all that stuff. And then the cat's meow with these is then I was thinking, well, I've got 6 parts using 6 patches. Omnisphere has 8 patches. So for the groove version of these, I kind of went kind of crazy and figured out how I could line them all up and set it to latch. And with latch, and with everything set to synchronize to 16th notes, I play low C and it triggers everybody to start like a drum machine. So I built a drum machine in Omnisphere. This is the most crazy programming I've ever done on any library. And part of the reason why it takes so long to make these libraries, this one. And then I have something to jam with. So the idea was to try to find, I love taking a plugin and finding its strengths and finding the things that make it unique and then supporting that. And so Omnisphere can, without even sweating any bullets, play 8 different patches simultaneously. Each of the patches can have different crazy things happening on the effects page for each sound. So while I'm playing these 2 sounds in this drum groove, I'm changing parameters, like 50 parameters in 8 sounds. It's crazy. Gets me all goose pimply. And so that's the power of OMG drums for Omnisphere, is each one of these multis that says groove is, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's gonna, you can look at the keyboard, this is a Some are just a bass. If you go to some of these that Airwave has done, oh, this is crazy. This one's supposed to be, what's the tempo? 140. Oh, we'll probably have to set it. It's all set to the right timing, isn't it? Crazy. So you never know what you're going to get with each one of these, how it's going to map it across the keyboard. Here you have effects. So that's the difference. Here it's one groove and you have the keyboard to play with. You could go to this is part number 5, right? For the droopy tom. Go over here and change it to be any other patch. All the basses, all the BPM stuff, everything's pulled out. So I could say bass and now I have a bass. So I could say BPM. And you never know what you'll find on the mod wheel. So it's different. It's for inspiring you to write songs, to try just to sit in a room with just one plugin loaded and nothing else happening, jam for hours. I totally get lost when working with this. This is OMG Drums Volume 1. For those of you wondering which library this is. And it's on sale this weekend. So if you don't have it, there you go. Question, how would you recommend going through and managing something like Omnisphere with 5,000 patches? There's a couple things. You have a rating system in the patches. Let's see if we initialize. This is a bonus question. I should be sticking to my 10 questions. I'm getting more than 10 questions now, huh? But if you go to here and you hit the little envelope to go into the folder, you see that you have a rating system over here. So your first place to go is you can say 5 stars up to whatever you want. And then you can go through, and I believe there's ways to have it show you by ratings only your things that have a certain number of ratings. Yeah, you can say sort by ratings, by marked, by A to Z. The other way to do things, if you want, and it's hard to do this with the factory voicing because you can't save it. You'd have to save it out. But any of the third-party libraries, anything from a Guru library, you could go here to the edit tags, and you could put in the keywords, you could say, love project. And now when I go to search, if I go up here and I'm got everything selected and I say love project, they will show up. So if you're working on an album and you create a set number of sounds for a certain project or for your own sounds that you want, if you're doing this to the factory sounds, what you'll have to do is you would take us, I'll show you real quickly. Say you like Pursuit. You would go up here, you would say save patch as, and you'd save it to the user folder. You have to choose the folder. Unfortunately, you have to go through the whole process. ARP, sit save. It has everything set up here, but they should have keywords, but they don't. But here you could say love project and save it. And this would save it into the user folder so that now you would be able to go back to your search for all and say love project. And now 2 libraries would show up. And so that's one way to do things. And then you could say share for a folder or share for a keyword or something like that. Why do most synths don't actually visually display what modulation? Yeah. It depends on the synth, and there's more and more synths showing you what is happening in real time. This is the modulation. When you blow it up, you have over here your target parameters. If you look at something like Serum, they actually have a separate page. So let's call up something like Mega Wave is another library, by the way, that's on sale this weekend. So if we go to Evil and we go to BPM Bass or something like this, it's crazy amount of stuff going on. Go to Matrix and you can see what's going on. You see LFO 1. You can change the parameters. Okay, so it depends on the synth. It's the same thing like I just did this lesson on envelopes and LFOs, old school versus new school. And we did a lot of talking between Omnisphere, which kind of works opposite of Serum. These two are the newer school approach, where here the LFOs are preset. And you can't change the shape of them at all, which is the opposite of Serum. Here the envelopes, they start with ADSRs, but then you hit the magnifying glass and you can option click to add as many segments as you want and go crazy. You can get to where you have all sorts of crazy rhythmic LFO things happening that can be synchronized and looped. So here the envelopes are the powerful thing, and the LFOs are sitting there just doing their basic wave shapes that they have choosing. If you go to Serum, it's the opposite. You have ADSR for your envelopes. Well, they have a hold parameter actually, which is cool. But then the envelopes can be set to the LFOs can be set to envelope mode right here instead of triggered or off. Envelope means it only plays once. So if I do that to both of these, now they're complex envelopes. And it just sits there forever. So that's the new school. More synthesizers coming out all the time with different approaches and philosophies. And this is what makes each machine instrument unique. You get abilities like that. So there you go. All right, what's the difference between spring verb, easy verb, and the proverb effects? So this is an Omniverse question. Actually, this is an Omnisphere question, excuse me. So if we go over here, let's load up. Well, let's initialize first because I think I still might have all sorts of stuff going on. But if we really need more velocities, any trick to save CPU and Omnisphere? The best, there's two tricks. I'm answering all these extra questions. I wasn't planning. I got so many questions to answer. We're gonna be here forever, but we have an hour, so we're good. We're good. Don't fret. So let's call up a patch from. I don't have all my libraries currently loaded, but Kid Anthem, I believe let's see, we don't have a love project in here. Let's go to Pluck. And let's say it's this, and let's say by default, it rings out nice. And then I sequence something with it. Let's get a little 2 measure thing going. Okay, so I had this thing going and all of a sudden my computer just dies on me. I do this, I do a bass, I do another chord part, and it turns out this is eating up more CPU than I want. So there's a couple places. As someone said, you can go in and limit polyphony, and the trick here is not to just arbitrary start making less. Play it, turn it down. Can you get away with 2 voices? The other place is on your synth, and here I'm going to hit link so I can do it to both. Go to the release. Maybe it can be shorter. Because the rule of thumb with these, as long as the release is still calculating that sound, even though the note is off, it's still calculating. it still has to account for that note until it hits a volume of 0. So if you can go in and find ways to limit the release time on sounds so that it gets to 0 and it frees up that CPU to go back into the pool, that's a great way to save polyphony. So I could take a part that was 8-note polyphonic, had long release, and now it's 2 voices. Now that's different than what it was originally. I'd probably want to, if I was going to do this on a project, I'd go like that maybe, then go to the reverb, more reverb. So you can find other ways to create that long, sustaining, beautiful, lush thing without just making it be released and sustaining forever. Okay, so there you go. The question that I had from a customer, so let's go to a, let's do this. Let's do it with drums because that's a great place to hear what reverb does, right? So let's go over here to a hip hop drum kit because that would be nice, dry, short drums for this. Shorter. I want shorter. There. So on this snare, let's go over to the effects and let's listen to the different reverbs. And where you place it is important. Do we want it to be a reverb that gets hit afterwards with EQ and compression? Or do you want it just to do reverb to the sound? So I'm going to do it right here at the end of the chain. And let's do it from the easiest to the most complex. So easy verb is the DSP friendly, cheap sounding. You have high pass. That's a high pass. Here's low pass. Okay. A little bit of pre-delay, not much. That requires more DSP, and then the length of time. And that's it. And a lot of times, I use this in a mix because it takes less CPU cycles. And it sounds good. If you want more control, then you go to Proverb. Proverb has a CPU slider, which is at low. If you've ever loaded up Keyscape patches, they are all at 100%. So one tip, if you own Keyscape, is to go in, if you load it into Omnisphere, you can bring this down some. It doesn't have to be 100%. It does make a difference. Here's 10%. Here's 100%. Hear how much smoother it is? It's kind of banging around. It's more metallic. So the higher math makes a difference. On some computers, especially PCs, it used to, I don't know if it still is the case, but CPU would absolutely kill a PC. We had to, Airwave Volume 1, we had to go back and redo all the multis because Airwave was going crazy on CPU to make it really high quality, but on PCs, it completely killed the multis. So we learned about that real quickly. There's some other amazingly cool things inside of the Pro Verb. For one thing, the pre-delay goes longer. It'll go up to 500 milliseconds, which is, if you time that out right and you get it to be a short room, you get a cool slab egg. It's cool. That requires more CPU. It's making a DSP delay before it plays the sound. So that's why it's on the Pro delay instead of on the cheaper delay. Density. Hear how it's got more of the drum sound character. Here it's thin. Okay. You have tone controls. Okay. And then a lot of people don't know about it. If you hit more, like the Lexicon reverbs and stuff, you have separate low frequency and time control and high frequency setting of the frequency and time control. So if I want the high end to die away, I can bring down the high frequency, and I use this all the time, and a lot of people don't know about it. If you want your reverb to be mono, so you have control over this. And then finally you have the freeze button, which will freeze it forever. Sample that, make that a cool texture. It's seamless. I remember a Synaptic demo for Infinitive Adaptive Verb. They're like, listen to this beautiful frozen crossfade. Nobody else has ever done this. I was like, dude, Omnisphere's done this for like 7 years. So it's not that unique. So that's the two reverbs. We got one more reverb to go. Oh my gosh, you guys. Good grief. Third reverb is really cool. It's a spring. Spring reverbs came originally like in the country music, twang, twang, twang. They also came from recording. It was a technique, a way to get reverb back in the day to have, you know, you've got the twisty spring that you get the cool zap sounds and but you can do some cool things with this. The width control on this will make the widest reverb on planet. Just surrounds you. Even if it's really, really minimally. Listen to that. Even with this set to like, I think 0% it won't do it, but if you're not, it's one of the tricks I use all the time, because you can set this to super small amounts and still get super wide instead of in your face. So on pads, hello. Over here on the EQ side, you've got the ability to no EQ or EQ, and gain if you want to hit it harder. So you have 2 pages to the spring reverb, and it has an adequate you know, it's cool. And if you want to get even crazier with the reverb, may I suggest you look at your friendly gain gate. Go to Dynamics, gate expander, right here. The threshold, snappy, hold, and release. It's still cool to have gated reverb. I hear it all the time in productions. And you can break it to be broken. Between the threshold and the range. Okay, and remember, the cool thing with OMG drums is that these are separate patches for each thing, or for each sound, not thing. So if I go to part 1, and I'm on OMG drums part 1, and I go between these, I could go down here to the kicks, and I could change. And if I go to part 3, the hi-hat, I go over here to the hi-hats, and they're all organized. So you can mix and match it up really easily. If you want part 6 up here to not be a tom, you want it to be instead be a cool effect or something like that. There's special effect things. Then take this and transpose it up in pitch. Put it through granular. Go over here to the guru presets of granular that come with Creature-esque and say freeze. Anyway, so I made it compartmentalized. This was something I learned a long time ago when working with Eric Persing. And I was helping make libraries for the Roland samplers. I did some conversions of some AMG libraries to the Roland samplers while still working at Korg with a fictitious name so that nobody at Korg knew. I can reveal that now. And he was doing all the rhythm section and all those libraries, and everything they designed it so that it would be compartmentalized, so that all the kicks would be, so you could change out parts in a sampler. And that is a really handy thing to be able to do. So I took that concept and applied it here so that consistently, everywhere you go, part 1 is always the kick drum, part 2 is the snare drum, part 3 is the, we did that when we built the OMG stuff, which made it for brake tweakers, so it's the same for here. Okay. So that's the comparisons between those 3 reverbs and stuff. Why do I get a lot of errors loading waveforms when changing sounds in Omnisphere? You don't have a patch update. So you need to go get the latest version of Omnisphere and the patch updates. They had some issues, they've been fixed, but you have to have a legitimate copy of Omnisphere and get the latest updates. You need to be at version 2.3.2, 2.0.1 for the sound sources, and the patches is the important one. You have to be at 2.3.0. Otherwise, you will get errors sometimes. Some of my libraries, specific waveforms are errors. If you get specific library errors with my libraries, email me, and we'll look at what's causing that problem and go from it, okay? Next question. Is it possible for me to somehow download your videos to one of my external drives for my private use in studying and playing with what you are teaching on a separate computer so I can do it offline? Yes. If you're using Chrome, there's software to do, just go to the Chrome extensions and get a YouTube downloader. They exist. There's ways to do it. So you can do that. I'm not going to get into the specifics. Some of these are quick. Yay. Will your sounds made for Omnisphere 1 work in Omnisphere 2? Yes. 100% compatible. They all come with the .omnisphere files. So all you have to do is utility install .omnisphere. You navigate, you say continue, and then you navigate to where your library is, the .omnisphere file of the library, and load it right up, and it will work. Do I have any Psytrance preloaded templates that I can load into Studio One 3 so I can study how trance is constructed and put together, or can you recommend anyone who has something that breaks it all down to study? I do. Let's see here. It's in Omnispheres. Hopefully I have it here. Yeah, I do. Okay. So if we go to multis, these grooves from Airwave are extremely helpful to see what was used to make all the different elements in a groove. Let's see if we go here, multi, let's say a beat just for fun. And this is going to load up hopefully a whole bunch of different things. So I play notes. And you hit stack so you can see what's going on. He's got 2 sounds. And I think the last one's muted. You can turn it off if you want. So you can have a pad. And then down below, it's gonna kill my computer, isn't it? But you can see all of the elements, and you can mute everything you don't want and listen to what's happening. Like this one sound, this bass. Crazy things are happening to that bass. He's doing, we're gonna do a future lesson on this, but he has LFOs and so forth, changing, show random 1. Let's make it even wider. It's randomly changing the mix of the reverb on the bass. Without it, it just sits there, but with it, it's so cool. And because it's random on the note and there's an arpeggiator playing, it's always in sync because it's based on when it plays new notes. Okay, so there's all of these forever and ever. There's so much stuff that Airwave did. I did some of them. It was really fun to work, create these things out of. Just all sorts of elements. And he uses these in his tracks. I mean, it sounds like the beginning of a huge techno song. And then the fun stuff with this, let's go to part 5. Let's see, do we have stack turned on? Turn on part 5, because it's empty. Go to part 5. Go into Airwave Volume 2. If we had Airwave Volume 1, we could go in there. But go to the BPM drum stuff. Just look for like these underscore things and call one up. Add that. Let's go to part 6 and add that. My computer's gonna die any second, I can tell. Let's go back to Airwave Volume 2. Let's look for something else. Let's maybe go to a BPM percussion. So you can build with these so... I mean, my computer is gonna die. But you get, hopefully you get the idea. Hopefully I didn't lose my feed, because sometimes when I do this, it freaks out and I lose my feed. Am I still here? Finally made it to one of your streams. Hey, Vertigo Pulse. Welcome. Glad you guys are all here. There's 51 people on YouTube. There's 35 people on the livestream.com. Kid Anthem is answering questions like crazy on the livestream.com. Alan, thank you. Alan Pauly is Kid Anthem, by the way. He's got a number of libraries, Kid Anthem Volume 1, Volume 2. He's working on something really cool to come out in the future. So I would suggest the Airwave libraries to break things down. I've been thinking about buying Stylus RMX because I need more flexibility in my drum tracks to make them interesting. Stylus seems to be getting kind of old. This is a tough one because I love Spectrasonics, but I will be honest in saying this is a drum library that it's so old, it has hair everywhere. And the sounds, it was, I believe Stylus came out, RMX came out before even dubstep or the EDM music that's going on. So it doesn't have current drum sounds. And I have no idea what their plans are. They do not make plans current and known to me until they release it to everybody else. So I don't know what they're doing. I would be very cautious about buying it. If you need killer drum grooves of drummers jamming and percussion, it's still very viable because it has really great loops, fills, breakdowns of drummers of all types, killer percussion, auxiliary percussion. I have 2 libraries, Big Bad Beats and Stylus, Skippy's Noise Box are both inside of Stylus. I believe I could go here. It's still viable in a lot of respects because it's got such great programming tools. But the sounds themselves, if you go over here to the core library, to the, I guess, RMX grooves is what you would call it, and you play these, they're still cool. A lot of these you've heard all over the place. But a lot of these things you could be using. It's very cool. It's just this has been around for 12 years or so without an update to the sounds in it. And I released the library. There's the expander libraries. So you've got the libraries from Spectrasonics, and then you have the libraries from Ilio that you can buy for like $99. My Big Bad Beats, which is the first drum loop library I created in actually like 1999. And it has all sorts of grooves from, this is when like, oh, gosh, I can't even go there. But killer stuff. And with the tools that you have here, you can take a groove like this, go to time, turn on the time designer, and I could quantize this from being swingy to straight. So that ability to drums is cool. There's all the presets in my power packs, so I could say swinging with pauses, even more. Because the way that RMX works, let's stop it. The way that Stylus RMX works is it chops, as you see if I play the notes. It plays, you would not believe the thousands of hours it required to build all the drum loops and percussion loops and stuff in this plugin. It's insane because everything is an audio loop that we use a program called Recycle from Propeller Heads to divide by timing events in audio, so that each timing event becomes a separate sample. When I first did, if you want to hear old school hardcore, when I did Big Bad Beats and converted it to RMX, Recycle was mono. Now it's stereo. So we had to do it actually to one file and then use a special program that we had created that would copy those points into the other file after it had split it into two separate mono files and then combine it back into a stereo file for 12,000 drum sample little snippets for all of the loops that are insane. Insane the amount of hours I put into this stuff. And as people are saying, chaos is also cool. You could go here to chaos, turn this on, and they have all sorts of tools for mixing up the pattern. You can do some cool buzzing. You can get BT kind of stuff. Dynamics. Make it softer, louder. All sorts of things to change the groove around. And the thing that's kept this alive and current for so many people, I have a number of producers that I consult with where they go and the user libraries right here. I only have a couple libraries in here, but if you go to Loop Masters or if you search for RX2 loop libraries, there are thousands. There are guitar grooves, bass grooves, instrument grooves. And you can use this area to keep RMX alive because the engine itself still works. The other thing that's great, and I'll show you real quickly because I don't want to spend too long on this, we could do a full thing just on RMX because it still is a favorite, is right here. All the groove elements this is golden for so many people. I mean, if you're trying to do current EDM, you might not be so into this, but if you're doing any other style of music that has real musical elements and so forth, these are all bongo loops. And you can go to part 2 because this is like everything else. The power of this is it's 8 parts. So I can go to part 2, groove elements. Let's go to Kabasa. There we go. Go to part 3. Let's keep it in core library. Go to this here, say tambourines. Go to part 4. Now, if we wanted to, I was telling you about all the cool drum grooves in the library. So if we go to, let's go to the expander libraries. Backbeat is drums. So I could say, okay. I could say, no, I want to be lefty. 1, 2. So on this front, if you need percussion and shakers and stuff like that, and if you want to load in your own samples into it and use this engine, it's amazing. There's no doubt. But the sound libraries that come inside the core library are 12 years old. So you need to just be aware of that and make a decision. Bongos sound the same whether they were recorded 12 years ago or today. So, so does my credit card. I don't think there's one crappy guru product. Someone's asking which libraries to get. Thank you for those of you that support me. I appreciate it. All right, so I hope I kind of answered that. I mean, RMX is great. It's a little dated, but the engine itself, there's nothing else that... The other thing that's crazy with this is that it's tempo flexible. The whole argument behind the groove control engine that was created in partnership with Ilio and Spectrasonics, and I was in on that development, which is nice in the past, is that everything is broken into snippets. And then there's basically the MIDI file that's spit out from Recycle that's been put into this. So it's both a MIDI file player, and you click right here and you can drag out the MIDI file. So if I go right here, boom, there's a .MIDI file of this groove, the Scuba Dubba combo, right? So I have the ability to change tempos. I could say 67 beats per minute and hit play, and right? Now this is supposed to be a drum groove, so let's go back to the expander libraries. Let's go to Big Bad Beats and go to Java. I love Java. Now you hear gaps because this was originally 97 beats per minute. That's the one catch to this, and it took, you would not believe the hours spent editing the frickin' end of every sample inside a peak by hand. It's insane. But the cool thing is, if I go to 120 beats per minute, restart it, sounds great. So it's a very, very cool plugin. There's nothing else that can do this to audio loop manipulation stuff. Super Macho Drums, the library that I've done for Contact 5, is drum samples with MIDI files. So it's programmed, it's not loops. So it's a different kind of concept. I could easily go there, but I won't because I have more questions to answer. How's it going? I just bought Mega Magic Dreams, and I have noticed that a lot of the patches fade off, especially when using live mode in Omni. Now, I should have loaded everything up before I started this. Let me see something. If I go up here, the reason is simple. The Mega Magic Dreams is a library based, let me go up here and initialize, on samples. This is right after Omnisphere 2 came out with the ability to play samples that we made ourselves. Yeah, I don't have it here, but I do have the sample, so I can still show you. So I'm just gonna make this release long and go over here to samples, to the sample libraries, and Mega Magic Dreams right here. So yes, this was the first library that I did with this idea of putting huge reverb onto a sample. And so everything is a sample that plays until it fades out. This is no programming parameters, just straight, and it will fade out. Everything in the library will fade out, except for one sample that I looped. But the idea was, when you only have one sample to play across the keyboard, I was trying to think of what I could do to make it not sound like crap over half the keyboard where it's really short. I mean, a guitar sample is going to fade out, and as you go up an octave, it fades out twice as fast. You go up 2 octaves, and it's twice as fast as before. So that's where the idea behind the reverb, and then the added benefit that when I play this note, it's got this huge reverb on it, and I play another note, it's not making that original reverb guitar sound muddy. And that was a really cool breakthrough, because normally if I was to call it just a reverb, like a platinum verb, and make this really muddy, let's make the reverb time even longer because that's short, but room size. Okay, reverb time. Long, right? So if I'm playing notes with this, it's building up reverb like crazy. So the cool thing with the Mega Magic idea for all the Mega Magic libraries is it's reverb in the sample, but it's in the sample. So it's no longer interacting with the rest of the notes. So I can play it, and it just rings out and is lovely. And so I was experimenting. I did it with basses. I did it with bells, guitars, keyboard sounds. These all have reverb, they all fade out. So the whole library, yes, it will fade out. There's only one sound. See, if I go over here to Mega Magic Dreams again, so it stays consistent. There's one string sound, Dream Strings, I believe. No, it's not that. It's synth, the Maxwell Anthem strings. Because of the string sound. And I realized I didn't want that to fade out. So while everything else is a hit of some sort with cool reverb, all the Maxwell stuff came from my modular synthesizer over here in the corner. So that's kind of a cool thing. He will be used a lot later this year. I have a Mega Magic Synths coming out. Let me look at the questions that we see going on here. I messed up my keyboard. So many conversations going on. You guys are just talking like crazy. Awesome. Hello from LA. Omnisphere is tight. What do you think about my boy Duda's synth Serum? It's also equally tight for sure. Serum is just a different beast. It's more in your face. It's synthesis on a pure level. It has a really cool noise oscillator that you can have play samples. And I have a number of Mega Magic Dreams libraries for this noise oscillator at my website. Some of them are on sale right now for 40% off for the Easter weekend. We have a number of libraries. NATO released a killer library of just sounds that will make you need to check your ears for earwax. Off you go. There's all sorts of stuff in this library. The Evil is your more dubstep. Epic is more trancey kind of sounds. Some cool effects. Here's the envelope. And this is synchronized up so that it will follow tempo, which is very cool. It can do the same things we can do in Omnisphere. So yeah, Serum is tight. No doubt about it. Scary synth. Which of your libraries contains several pianos? I heard several beautiful pianos in Omniverse 2, The Dark Hope. Another recommendation for pianos that's really kind of cool is right here in Mega Magic Dreams. There's a whole lot of keys from grands. And from about here on up, it's kind of fake, but it's a cool effect still. A lot of times you just need new. Distorted sine piano. Sines sound great everywhere. Mellotronic Grand. And we could take that down 2 octaves. And then all the other libraries. I went through and did an count, and Omniverse Part 1 had like 7 pianos. Omniverse Part 3 has like 7 or 8 pianos. I like to put, with those libraries, it's a little bit of everything in a library. And so I'll be making, I'm planning on the website to have a whole patch list on all the pages, but there's a lot going on to get that to happen. So we're getting there. So yeah, Mega Magic Dreams is a cool place to look if you want something different for pianos. I want to ask you to do a short video about getting the siren sound in the patch Joyous Reunion Mellow using Omnisphere. I have looked over the patch several times and I can't figure out how to make, extend, or get the sirens to work. If you hold down a note, then do an octave, sometimes you can get some really neat effects from it. I would like to know how to do these things. Okay, so we need to look for the Joyous Reunion Mellow. So to make life simple, let's go up here to all. Just type in Joyous. Joyous, and there it is. Joyous Reunion Mellow. The thing that's happening here, here's the sound. It has this gliding stuff going on. Like, where in the heck is that coming from? Granular, believe it or not. If you go to here to granular and turn it off, it's nice, but it's that singing siren effect from granular. And it's just because of the settings. It's set to have low intensity. If I change my intensity, since it's a mellow sound, the intervals, how much gliding is done. You have to do just fifths. Just finding the right settings. So it's granular. Turn it off and it's just a simple pad. So the magic sauce is coming from the setting in granular. And if you want, you could call this up so that it plays and does. Then go over here to the granular triangle right here and say save this granular preset, and it will give you a chance to save Joyous Mellow. Okay, so I now have that as a preset. Now let's go to Kid Anthem. And let's go to a pad that doesn't say joyous because we don't have anything in here that's joyous. But we could say, and let's analyze it real quick. So we look at the two layers. So one layer is Kid Anthem playing a flute. And layer two, it's an octave down of Kid Anthem playing a flute. So if I went over here to granular and I turn it on, I go to granular presets and I choose Joyous Mellow, I've added that effect to that element and then turned back on layer A to be straight. So I've made my own granular flute and my computer's dying because granular is a CPU hungry son of a gun. But that's how you do it. You could do that type of thing. So over now, there's more Mega Magic coming. People are asking if there's more Mega Magic. And Keyscape Omnisphere Library. Yes. So Keyscape Library is definitely in the works for the year. I am sampling cello and violin, viola, and violin, viola, cello, and contrabass for Mega Magic. We're going to try processing with reverb and see how that turns out. It's going to be pretty awesome. So that's in the works. There's a Mega Magic synth I'm working on as well. So let's keep going on our questions because we're running out of time. I've watched most of your vids. Oh, this was a nice email. So many of you guys are really nice. Not having opportunity to watch them live, I normally watch them a day or two later. What strikes me is that they are more informative than the tutorials I bought from Groove 3 and Mac Pro Video. Thank you. In my mind, there are two ways of making a tutorial. One is we are manual out loud for you, and the other way is here is how you can utilize this instrument plugin in your music production. You're among the latter mostly, and the ones from G3 and Mac Pro are among the first category mostly. As I am buying Omnisphere and others to make music I prefer, hence that go to the direction of music sound making. That's why I do these, is because owner's manuals make my eyes gloss over. If you watch 10 hours of owner's manual type videos. It doesn't sink in. I want it to sink in. How do you use this in your real world? I'm doing this. What do I do? As I understand, there are several people in the agree, and judging from the participants, webcasts, there are several people already in your proximity that agree. Perhaps some people are willing to pay an amount to get a fraction of your knowledge. I don't mind getting things for free, but I would also like to keep you in business for years to come. So why not charge for the web costs? Live is free, and then what, like $5, $10 USD? It's a nice question. My business model is free YouTube videos with as much information, no holding back. I'm not one that, if you go, you can find videos from me where I make a patch from scratch. And I hate these videos that like, here's this cool sound, and I do this, and they don't explain what they're doing, and then they pause in the video, and all of a sudden it's a done cool sound. That's useless. My videos are free to you. It's my goal is to put as much of my brain before I pass away and go into the dust world on YouTube. So I want to give that to you guys, because my philosophy has always been, if we had the 10 best architects in the world that had all the tools and have made buildings in Dubai and London and stuff, if they each sat and designed a building with all the knowledge that they know, they're extreme masters of everything, every one of them is going to make a different building. And so my goal is to give you guys the tools to be able to stay in artistic mode when you look at this interface. Instead of going into freak out computer tech help mode, you know what to do to the sounds. You'll stay in the artistic side of your brain if you know how these work. And so I give that to you guys. And in return, I ask that you buy libraries from me. And many, many of you do. I'm honored and blessed to have the job that I do, and I love what I do. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to charge money. I don't want money for my videos. I don't think knowledge should have a price. At least some people disagree with me and they want to charge money for it. But I like the win-win model. The videos are free. You go, you buy a library, you pay me then, and now you have sounds. So you've won twice, because now you have knowledge and you have all these cool sounds to use in your music production. So my business model is called the win-win model. And I'm going to stick to it as long as I can. So I will never charge for these. I don't see any reason to do that. So let me show you what I'm working on. That's the last of the videos. You guys are awesome. I love the support. I have Skyped with people to help them install libraries, and it ends up last week I had to help someone out that's just getting into this, and it's all new, and he prepares like subway trains in New Jersey, and to help him get into music, I mean, I can't tell you how happy that makes me. So that's my philosophy. I'm sticking to it, damn it. So here's the new library I'm working on, and I'm thrilled with this. It is so cool. It's currently called Run, Chase, Hide. But I'm going to come up with that's not a very good library name, but it's kind of like the working title name. And I've only had to take, you wouldn't believe this, I'm taking samples from Super Macho drums for the most part, from all the stuff that I've done, and it's allowing me to make these. I actually went and bought, look at this. Just bought this to sample. I've got djembes. I have a couple other things. To be honest, I don't even know if I need to sample them, because what I have to work with already is pretty insane. So I showed you earlier, let me play these at their defined like 150 beats per minute. The idea is this: percussion, but not just regular percussion, not like congas and stuff. You hear elements like that, but percussion that's then programmed with the tools in Omnisphere to make it valid and a reason to be an Omnisphere instead of being just a contact library or something like that. Because if I want to survive as a sound designer, I have to keep finding holes that nobody else has filled. And there are so many holes. There's so many cool places to go still. I mean, it's insane. crazy, crazy stuff on my dream list to do still that I haven't done. So this is component based. I'm programming things so that they are into 3 different categories of high, mid, or low. So when you go through the patches for this library, it's going to be all high, low, or mid, and then what they are, so that you can mix and match and go crazy. But listen to this. This is so cool. So this is, I showed this earlier. This is called so it's percussion programmed to the max in Omnisphere. And the mod wheel shows you where we can go with programming. Okay, that's one. I'll just show you what I've got so far. This is really cool. This is Hot Jungle Tom Chase. Let's slow it down. So let's say like 125 for this one. The cheetah is running through the jungle. And then the mod wheel, I have toms. So cool. They're hiding, just ready. Isn't that cool? Looking for lunch. I imagine myself a cheetah somewhere in the Serengeti. And this has to be fast, so let's go 160. And it's tuned. I lost the sight of my prey. I'm so hungry. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. Let's get him. 1, 2, 3. But I need ideas for the name of this library, so give me all your ideas. Synth. Oh my gosh. Oh, Mega Mucho Synth. Here's one. That's so what inspired this? I will tell you. There's a game called Horizon Zero Dawn for the PlayStation 4. And I have played, I will tell you, over 70 hours in this insane, crazy, stupid game. It is so good. And it's a great story. It talks about, it's kind of like we create the future bots in the army and they break free from being under control. They live off biomass. They can destroy the whole planet. And this is about 300, 400, 500 years in the future when tribes are repopulating the planet after something you learn. I don't want to give it away, but that's what started this. And so I've been listening to those grooves, and then I've been listening. There's the Synth 8 TV show, which is awesome. And so I've been, that's all really great rhythm programming and stuff. And Planet Earth 2, I've got friends telling me to listen to. So here's Losing Blood. Doctor, come over here. Look at this patient. What's going on? So all those booms and stuff are inside of Super Macho drums. Did you know that? They're in there. Deep space. Mod wheel up. Falls apart. Flanging. Cool. Isn't that cool? So I'm having a great time. I mean, oh, this is so good. I don't know if my computer will play this or not. This is after we just dropped this mega bomb on Afghanistan, and I was watching the video of it going. And I was like, okay, off to where we go. Let's go. Get that tank over here. Cool. So there's stuff we can do in Omnisphere that we haven't even thought of yet. Nobody's done percussion samples. It's like, well, why would you do percussion samples inside Omnisphere? Well, you have the most programming frickin' environment on the planet with the effects in real time and all this stuff and the LFOs and the arpeggiators. Each one of these sounds has some sort of arpeggiated thing going on. And the fun thing, again, because it's art-based, I can go from 156 beats per minute to 95 beats per minute and listen to the song I'm singing. Yeah. It could be a pop song. So it's very flexible. So I think Synosphere is actually, I gotta think Cineperks. It's got it. Synosphere sounds like, I don't know. We'll figure it out, but that's a good start. I like was it? I don't know. I'm working on sorts of different names. Here's a Sorta Samba. This is fun because there's some bass drums and stuff in the library too. So it made me think of, and you'll probably think this too, Howard Jones. I can't sing. And it's tuned. But there's some cool tricks I can't wait to teach you guys about in this library. See how I have velocity? That's radically going between playing one layer and switching to the other layer by velocity. So I have two samples available in a patch. Same with the triangle. If we go, this is an open and a closed triangle. How in the heck, Skippy, are you getting that out of the side of that there thing? That's because I have layer A being one sample, layer B being another sample, and I'm having different, if I want it to be all open or all closed. I can get all sorts of cool variations. It's so exciting, guys. I love it. I love getting to do stuff like this that nobody's done before. It's like when I go do my photography things and I'm someplace in the middle of nowhere and it's sunset and it's beautiful sky and I'm all by myself. It's how I feel when I do these types of things. So here's Waiting for the Moment. This is really cool. Yeah. So it won't all be just phonetic crazy stuff. So I'm really thrilled. Hopefully, oh, Tim's leaving. Bye, Tim. Good to see you, buddy. So yeah, that's about the end of our live stream. We got 9 minutes left. I do this about 2 hours. Let me see if there's other questions floating around. By chance, can you put these videos on YouTube once you have them done? I still can't get live stream to work. Yes, these are saved to YouTube because I'm streaming live to YouTube and it saves it. So the past live stream from last week is on YouTube as well. Please give us one multi-trial sample free to download. I tell you what, let's do this. I will do an Easter egg. If you guys would like some patches. This library, I'm going to hopefully have it by end of April or May. We'll see. I'm going to give this a little bit of time to percolate. Because I want to really develop this. I don't want to cut it short, but I have Airwave, who's doing a lot of stuff for TV, doing some fun stuff. So if you go to my website, let me get this set. I'm doing something to my website as we speak. This will only be for this weekend for Easter. So Easter 2017. After this, I'm sorry, but you will have missed this opportunity. But I'm going to take the 1020 collection. That is a collection that is 10 patches from 20 libraries. It will give you a killer sampling of everything that is available. It's regularly $35. For this weekend, it's $5. So please go to Plugin Guru, and you'll see the 1020 collection when you go to the, if I log out, let's go back here. For those of you that have a small handful of my libraries or no libraries, the 1020 collection is a great way to just get an overview taste of a lot of libraries from one place. So if you come over here and you go to products and you go down to the Omnisphere 2, you should see, oh, is it not here? Oh my gosh, I'll have to fix that after the video is done. But if you go down the list and you hit Omnisphere, it will list everything that I've created for Omnisphere, all of our libraries, and you'll see right here the 1020 and hit more info. And when you go to this page, instead of being $35, it's right now set at $5. So there is an Easter present since it's Easter. There's also 15 libraries that are 40% off, but you have to search for them. So go searching, happy hunting, to find them. Okay. So let's see what else is going on question wise. It's so awesome to do these each weekend. I like hanging out with you guys. It's a good time. Let's see what else. Okay, cool. We got people going to get it. Cool. Happy Easter. It's that's the best we can do at this point. Yeah. Are you? Yes. So I have BT Phobos. Let me tell you the story. I bought BT Phobos on Phobos, if you're in London, I guess. I pre-ordered it, and they were late. They released it yesterday or 2 days ago. I think yesterday. And I got my link to download it. And unfortunately, it requires 10.10. They capped it. And this computer is at 10.9.5, and I will never update it. I have Redmatica's software for KeyMap Pro. This is the program that I use for looping and for sample manipulation. It is the most powerful sample manipulation, crossfade looping in real time. So I cannot run Phobos or download it on this computer. So I actually am going to be setting up in the back a station for my assistant. He's going to be coming here and working with me a couple days a week to get more stuff going. And so I'm going to buy another of the 2009 6-core 3.5 gigahertz Mac Pro towers that will be updated to 10.12. So I have a new operating system for this system that I'm using right now, and then the system in the back for voicing work, for web work, promotion, all that kind of stuff will be this computer that I'm using right now. It's like $1,200 to buy one. I would get a new trash can Mac Pro tower if I didn't know that next year they're bringing out actually a far better, flexible, updatable. If I knew PCs, I would consider that. I don't know PCs at all. From my early days with an Apple IIe and the very first Macintosh that ever came out, I was there. I have never been a PC head. I just can't wrap my head around its interface. It's closer. It's better. I have a PC here. Any new revelations with the Rolly? And you guys are asking for all sorts of good questions. The Rolly is just, I'm really enjoying it. For the videos, which was the main reason I got it, it's wonderful because it takes a little getting used to, but I can I can play it, and I don't have the key noise thing, so I like that part of it. I've been in communications with the Rolly people a little bit, not a lot, about what they're doing for third-party support, because I'm not going to do anything to support their plugin for Rolly until it has a legitimate, cool-looking third-party support, at least to the point to where there's a place to select libraries that's not like some weird. They have a solution right now they tell me about, but it's not a appropriate solution. So we will see where that goes as far as future support. I have the 1020 collection. Just install it again. Oh, there's no Easter egg. The Easter egg is it's $5. So you can go buy a library of mine for $5 instead of $35. That's the Easter egg. I hope that's cool. Let's see, by chance. Did I miss any other questions? Why does Omnisphere sometimes not show the filter type in use? Yes, that is a good question. I don't know. It does that stuff sometimes where this becomes just, it'll probably not do it for me now, right? Because we're working and doing cool stuff. But you come back here after you've saved it, it will lose its place sometimes. That's just a unique thing, and I don't have an answer to that because I'm not Spectrasonics. Any other questions? I'm actually downloading this live cast with J Downloader 2. Yeah, you can use, there's a couple different tools that will help you get this. I don't mind people downloading it. Like I said, videos are free. Please don't torrent the libraries. I know they're everywhere. AudioZ has them. You could go get any of my libraries for free right now, but I respectfully ask you not to do that. Did you hear about the BOPT? Oh, the BoPad. I don't know about the BoPad yet. I have to look into that. Anyone who wants samples of all this stuff should get the 1020 library. Yes. It just gives you a little, it's a ton of patches. It's 200 patches. Radio Ready Volume 2 later this year. It's not one of those things that I'm going to do right away. And I will tell you right now, the Radio Ready Volume 2 will require you to own Keyscape. Just telling you right now. Because so many songs use keyboard sounds, and we'll use Keyscape quite a bit. So how many hours do you sleep at night? I sleep 5 to 6 hours usually. My daughter's here with me every other week, and so we have to get up at 6:45 for school and go to bed late. How many hours? Yeah, so I don't sleep enough probably, especially now that I have a drone, right? So we'll see what happens with that stuff. Well, I thank you for joining me. It's been a great time. We will see you next Saturday, probably. I will, as far as I know, do a live stream each Saturday. We'll continue going. Oh, Keith McMillan. He makes cool stuff, but I don't know anything about it. So I had one of his things earlier that didn't use a lot. I still have it and might sell it or something like that. So any other questions? We're wrapping up. Thank you for joining me. If you have questions, john@pluginguru.com is email. Send me an email. Say subject line is guru question or video question or YouTube question or something like that. And I get lots of questions at this point. So I get to choose the best questions. So think of good questions and we'll put them together like we did today, maybe for next week. Thank you for joining me, all you guys. I'm checking back and forth between the livestream.com and the YouTube. Happy Easter. Blessings to all. Peace on earth, please. Right? Peace on earth. Goodwill to all of us. And I will talk to you guys in the future. So thank you again for your support. And I'm going to check out and go fly my drone with my daughter. So see you guys later. Bye. And yes, we will end. Bye-bye.